How's it going, guys? My name is RighteousNicky and welcome to another Overmind game. We're going to be playing on Tomb of the Spider Queen. My first band is going to be Sylvanas. Pretty obvious band. I actually left Ragnaros open. And I'm going to be playing Arthas this game. Now, Arthas has been a hero that I've been overlooking quite a lot for what he is. And I'm going to explain this in just a moment. They're going to ban Diablo. Diablo is currently one of the better tanks. And in general, he's pretty good on this map because he can clear a lot of minions pretty easily with his flame ability. We're going to get Ragnaros, which is pretty good. Generally, Ragnaros is pretty good on a pushing map with minions. And this is that kind of a map. 8C and Gul'dan. Gul'dan is pretty strong on this map. Definitely 8C is one of the stronger tanks as well. I'm going to get Arthas here. I'm going to talk about him just in a moment. We're going to get Limink, solid mage. Not much to discuss there. They're going to ban Rhaegar though. Rhaegar has been seeing a lot of play recently with Bloodwas, but for our composition, Bloodwas isn't really that good currently. So I'm not really sure about this Rhaegar ban. I banned Zoo because I felt like they might pick him. They don't have a specialist. And a second melee, a pretty sustainable melee as Zoo, especially on this map, seems like a pretty logical pick for them. So I decided to ban that. Now, I've actually been playing a lot on my second account. If you don't know, I've been leveling up my second account. I already have like 10 heroes on level 5, and I'm going to be really soon going to be starting ranked. I'm almost level 30 as well. And I managed to play Arthas there for a decent amount of time, so it gave me really a very nice insight about him. They're going to pick Nazeebo. Now, Nazeebo is one of those characters that I've actually been playing as well, but it's generally pretty hard to execute, especially with his new talents. But he's pretty decent on this map. Uriel, solid healer. Now, Tychus here, we do need a ranged assassin. Tychus is pretty good versus 8C because he can throw a grenade to stop his mosh pit. So that's pretty cool, and also counters the potential for a double tank. Mofirian, pretty solid healer. Raynor is actually a pretty good pick here. They needed an auto attacker. They don't have a second melee, but Raynor with the Hyperion is also pretty good on this map. So let's see how this game is going to go. What I was talking about Arthas is I actually managed to play with him quite a bit. And to be honest, guys, he's pretty strong. I mean, just with his ulti Sindragosa, I don't see why people aren't contesting him for pushing maps, because the Sindragosa ulti can bring so much siege potential that I really don't understand why people don't pick him as a second tank. At least I haven't seen that in ranked. Now, there are mainly, for me, two ways to build Arthas, generally. There are probably a bit more, but generally there is the melee way and there's the ranged way, range poke way. So I'm currently building him in a range damage dealing way. Now, you wanna be doing that because, firstly, in this particular draft they have 4 ranged and 1 tank. I don't want to be focusing the tank at all. My goal is to be inflicting some CC and damage on the ranged. And for that, for level 1 talent, I picked the improvement to my W, which is the rooting freezing thing, Howling Blast. Generally, the Howling Blast has a 10-second cooldown, so if you manage to hit it on a hero, its cooldown is reduced to 5 seconds. That is 5 seconds. That is 50% reduction, which is pretty huge. So if you manage to hit your Howling Blast, keep to your opponent with your E, which I actually don't remember. I don't know yet all Arthas' name's abilities. I know that Q is Molten Coil. Molten? Was it Molten? I'm not really sure. Coil. Unholy Coil. Dead Coil. Dead Coil, that is it. I would think that E is something like Frigid Winds. So the basic idea of this level 1 talent is you land the Howling Blast, get to your opponent with your E, and start slowing them until you can Howling Blast again. Next talent is going to be Death Ward. I'm actually going to be speaking into the Death Coil. This talent reduces the cooldown of your Death Coil by 2 seconds and increases its range by 25%. This is a pretty nice improvement, especially for the range. Some cooldown reduction is always nice. Basically, you want to be able to poke with your Death Coil from a safer distance. The next talent you're going to be going is Immortal Coil, which is going to unlock you a very nice potential of your Death Coil. Basically, as you can see the damage number there, it was 200 damage if you use it for offense, or around 300 healing if you use it for self-heal. Now this talent on level 7 actually allows you to double the damage healing. So basically, I didn't rephrase that correctly. So basically, a level 7 talent allows you to get healing if you damage someone with your Death Coil. Yeah. So basically, if I did 200 damage, I'm going to get instantly healed by 200. But not only that, it increased that healing factor by 100%. So I'm going to do 200 damage, but I'm going to get healed for 400. So that's already more useful than the self-heal. So that means that you want to be using your Death Coil every time for dealing damage. And it's pretty good. You're going to get some pretty nice sustain. Going to be throwing some pretty decent damage from a long range. Generally pretty nice poke along with the Howling Blast. Now, you really don't want to be going that deep as an Arthas. That's why I'm versus 4 range. That's why I'm going with this build currently. Now I'm pinging on Limming so we can try to grab a kill and go down there. Not enough damage. She's pretty well there, so yeah, I don't really want her to be in danger. Now I'm actually a solo tank here, and I'm actually not building as a tank, but that is because I really don't want to be soaking damage from 4 ranged. As an Arthas, I want to be providing CC with my Swolls and Roots. We're going to be able to pick a very nice kill on 8C there. Morphiran really helped a lot with his Roots as well. I'm going to go for the Immortal Coil. Now for level 10, of course, you want to be going Sindragosa. The only time you want to be going the Army of the Dead is if you want to be playing a lot more tankish. Especially if you're solo tank versus a lot of melee. Army of the Dead generally seems like a pretty good idea. And of course, if you're building as well for some other melee talents, like you can build up your Frostmourne talent and Frigid Winds talents if you're playing versus a lot of melee. I think that's a good time to do that. Also, versus melee, you want to be using the tank talent on level 7 that allows you to heal for 4% of your maximum health on every third basic attack, because I don't want to be basic attacking ATC. That's why I'm not picking this talent. But what I do want is for me rooting some of their carries so my team can actually get better position on them and execute them. That's the main goal of Arthas. Now, not very good at landing my skill shots yet, but doing what I can. Actually, it is the only skill shot there. And one other tip that I want to give you as an Arthas is always min-max your mana usage on your E. You don't want to be wasteful on your mana for that. Mainly you want to use it when you catch someone, so you want to be sticking next to him, because the E swallows movement speed over time. That stacks. Ragnar's getting in a very bad position. I'm going to manage to freeze 2 of them there. But yeah, 8C though, pretty well there. I'm going to be able to finish him with Limink, and I also picked some of the gems there that Ragnaros dropped out. I'm going to land another freeze on the Zebo there. I'm though getting pretty well. Now the one bad thing about the Death Coil is that it's actually a bit inconsistent for its healing, because it actually has a travel path. It actually needs around 2 to 3 seconds for it to get to the enemy and then get back to you, so you can get the healing factor. And that sometimes can be I mean, sometimes you can die until then. So it's not instant most of the times, but still it's pretty good healing if you execute it properly. What I was talking about earlier though is for the E. Not only that you want to be using it for swallowing enemies by you being annoying to them and hugging them, but also the other time you want to be using it is actually to clear minions. It's actually a very nice tool to clear minions. I wouldn't suggest you to use your W to clear minions except if you have a lot of spare mana, because it just doesn't do as much as damage as your E. Now we got level 10 here. I'm generally saving my ulti here so we can get the gems first, so we can actually get some pushing going with the spider. So I can actually use my... Actually, here you can see here is actually a pretty nice time to use the Syndragosa, but I'm not going to do it because I know that we're pretty close on the gems, and the Syndragosa has almost 2 minutes cooldown, and I don't want to be wasting that for a team fight where we can grab a kill or two, and rather save it for actually pushing some forts. Raynor is going to scare us away. I really want my team to finally deliver some gems here because I really want to use my ulti. I don't want to be saving it for too long. Yeah, generally you want to be using your E to clear minions, but turn it off as fast as possible when you're done, because the mana, you really want to be saving your mana as much as possible. Now HC is going to be, we're going to have a very nice dance here with HC for quite a long time, I remember. He's just going to be annoying me, and I'm like pissed off now, like, come here boy, I'm going to slam you with my Frostmourne. Generally, if you need to decide between auto-attacking or sticking to your target, always stick to your target with your AoE, because you want to keep him swallowed next to you. Now I think I scared him decently enough there, but he's coming again. Is he going to stop me? Oh, yeah, I'm not really sure if I delivered there. I wasn't paying attention, but he's... What? I didn't know that HC can go through walls. I think that might be a special talent though. Yeah, I think that's a special talent to go through walls. Now, on level 13 you're going to go Trail of Frost. I'm going to use the Syndragosa right here to freeze the fort so we can get it freely. Actually, I don't know if that was the right choice, because we could have taken this fort freely anyway, because they were already on the top and middle. Should have probably saved the Syndragosa for the next fort, to be honest. There were 2 towers there as well. But yeah, I just really wanted to use it as soon as possible. I could definitely found a better time to use it on this fort than the previous one. Anyway, level 13 Trail of Frost increases your frost path by 30%, which is huge. Oh, we're going to get ulti by HC Mofirando helping us with the tranquility there. I'm doing what I can to survive here. Raynor coming from the side, getting feared by Gul'dan as well. I'm going to freeze Raynor so my team can actually start. Raynor is actually escaping, but another Trail of Frost with reduced cooldown. Now I'm sticking with to him with my Swole, but I'm going to get pushed back. Luckily, Limink managed to come out of nowhere there. Finish the kill. Now it's 4 versus 3, but I'm going to be joining the fight now. As you can see here, I'm just trying to hug them as much as possible. Freeze them, not only by rooting them, but also by reducing the movement speed with the E. That's what you want to be doing with an Arthas. You're generally decently tanky to be soaking any damage, especially if you're healthy, so that shouldn't be bothering you. Now, one interesting thing that happened here is that we started this Merc camp, but they actually someone managed to deliver there sneakily some gems. They actually had only 2 left, so that's not going to be that big of a deal. Trail of Frost, I forgot to mention, it also freezes everyone in the path of the frost. If you don't spec in this talent, you only root people that actually are on the AoE marker of the spell, but this talent allows you to also freeze people on the travel path. Now, on level 16, I'm going to really suggest you to pick this Deathcore improvement talent. Now, I'm actually going to freeze the fort here because I generally felt like I just wanted to swallow their team here. There's a lot of fighting here. I'm trying to zone here Nazeebo. That Gargantum is pretty nasty though. A lava wave coming here, so that's pretty cool. But generally freezing the fort, allowing us to be a bit more deep there. The freeze is going to run out though. Now I'm pinging to my team. Guys, there's two spiders really pushing there. We should try to get the pressure off. They do have 3 dead there. But we generally really need to stop the spiders because they can push, they can kill forts easily if they go uncontested. And I don't feel very confident with, for us to be finishing out the game at this point. So yeah, I think it was a better idea to go back. Now the Dead Coil talent, it deals more damage the less health you have. It's percentage, so if you're at 50% health, the Dead Coil is going to deal 50% more damage. And that means that the heal, you're going to get more heal out of it as well. That makes you be able to sustain much more if you're low on health. So not only that it's a bit more offensive talent, but it's also a bit more defensive talent. So I really like the twin conditions of this thing. So I actually saw them here sneaking onto the boss. It's pretty obvious here. I'm pinging to my team. Ragnaros is actually a bit far. So already below 50%. I'm actually going to manage to freeze 3 people there. I'm trying to stick to ATC because he's pretty low. I'm actually going pretty low. I'm actually thinking to use the Sindragosa here. I'm going to do that, freeze them very nicely there. Ragnaros with the double slam there, executing 2 people instantly. I'm going to die unfortunately, but we were a bit outnumbered there. And I had to do my role as a tank to soak as much as possible and give my team some better positioning there for them to deal damage. Now, level 20 is probably going to be the hardest talent as an Arthas that you're going to take. I don't think the level 20 Sindragosa improvement is good. Now, it roots people for 2 seconds and increases the length of the ultimate twice. Now, you don't really need the length. I mean, you could freeze probably some deeper structures and minion waves, but that's just it. I mean, you might not even push that deep, and basically this ult provides you is, this talent provides you is 2-second roots to everyone. I mean, it's not bad, but you generally already have a root, and I feel like the other talents are a much better investment. Now, I would suggest you to get the magic shoot if they have a lot of burst mages. But they actually don't have burst mages, they have sustained damage dealers. Gul'dan and Nazeebo are sustained damage dealers. So what I decided to take was actually the movement speed increasement talent. Because I felt like I wanted to be able to stick better. Ooh, that Wawa wave coming very nicely towards the middle ATC. Going with the ulti. Liming, I don't know why Liming decided to jump in the middle there. Maybe she wanted to proc her damage dealing from the thingy there. I'm going to use the Sindragosa, going to swallow those 2 guys. I'm going to be sticking next to them. Liming helping out with some damage, but I'm actually getting pretty low on mana. I did manage to get the root there. And now at this point, I'm just trying to stick as much as better as possible. Thankfully, the fort is still frozen from the Sindragosa, so I'm going to be able to sneak safely. Now, I did the bad mistake there to turn around, try to refresh my mana with Frostborn so I can use the Dead Coil. But I didn't notice that there were spiders biting on me. I probably wouldn't have outrun them anyway, because the new Nazeebo spiders are a bit faster. So yeah, I'm really not that sad about this death, because we managed to do a lot of siege damage and get some pretty nice kills as well, so I'm pretty happy with that. Now for level 20, I generally think that, especially versus 4 range that you're trying to stick to, Death's Advance is a pretty nice talent. Now, the 10% movement speed actually isn't that much, but the fact that you can boost it to 30% for 5 seconds on a pretty short cooldown, it's not that short, it's I think it was around 50 seconds, but generally if you use it in the right moment, you can be a very big threat, especially versus people like Raynor that try to be as far as possible as they can. Now they are starting a team fight here, 4 versus 5 without me. We do have the level advantage. Liming is dealing some very nice damage on the side. Oh, Ragnaros with the meteor there. They're trying to protect Nazeebo as best as possible, but he's pretty dead. That Ragnaros is doing some very high damage with Sulfurious. Wow. He even managed to execute Gul'dan. The Lava Wave is coming down as well. He's going to be doing some very nice damage. And now I'm coming here with Finally, going to throw the Cindergosa so we can go through the forts. And now I'm using my Death's Advance. I'm going for this Rainer boy. I'm going to freeze him. Going to do full damage and liming here with the explosion. Man, I felt very pumped going towards Rainer with the Death's Advance there. It was a very cool moment. Ace is going to be the last man standing here. He's going to throw a Desperate Wood there, but he's not going to be able to do anything. We're going to be finish this game. To be honest, it was a bit of a one-sided game in general. I didn't feel like we were losing. I mean, we have our 3 forts up, so it was definitely a bit of a slamming game here. But I really wanted to show you Arthas, and I felt like this was a pretty nice display of Arthas in this game. I really wanted to talk about the talents as well, especially talents that are good versus a ranged composition as the enemy team. And yeah, I'm going to give one commendation here to Malfurion. This time, I remember to show some talents and stats at the end. But in general, Arthas, I would suggest you to pick him on maps that have pushing scenarios. So what maps would that be? I actually would say that Arthas, the best map for Arthas is going to be Haunted Mines, because you actually have lesser lanes to push, and generally the skeleton or golem is going to be very huge on maps that you remove the siege potential of the structures, the firing potential of the structures. Now another similar map is going to be Braxis Holdout. Freezing the lane with so many Zergs up is going to be just awesome. But generally on Braxis Holdout, actually people pick a lot of heroes that have a lot of nice AoE to deal with the Zerg anyway. So I think on a map where the enemy is one big dude, Arthas is a bit stronger. Also the Immortals, Battlefield Eternity, that would be good. The Punisher on Punisher Arena. How was it? No, not Punisher Arena. I forgot how the map was called. Battlefield Eternity? No, that was the previous map. Anyway, generally those type of maps. I wouldn't suggest though Arthas on maybe Dragonshire, because you want to be having a bit more teamfight potential. It could work definitely with the Dragon. Probably not as well on the Flower map, the Guardian of Terror. I probably also wouldn't suggest it there in general. And yeah, on the other 4 maps, like Temple of Anubis, definitely not. Towers of Doom, definitely not. But maps with huge objective presences that are going to push the map, definitely consider Arthas. Just for the Cindergosa, man, it's OP as fuck in my opinion. And I'm definitely going to be considering Arthas much more in the future, especially since I managed to play him in my new account. And yeah guys, this is going to be everything from me from today. So thank you for watching, and until next time, stay righteous. When I see Diablo here and try to get the hell out of here, I'm going to throw my abilities to remove him from the mount. Now the Gul'dan AI is using the Rain of Destruction there, it's pretty nice. Oreo ulti going on Tychus, but we're going to be able to finish one. A lot of stun from Diablo there though, and I'm